Love is in the air.
Makes me sick!
But don't worry, you don't have to catch it unless you absolutely want to. Hey, welcome back to The Right Way, where we talk book recs, author interviews, and creative writing tips. I'm your host, Garrett K. Jones, and this is the full episode for February. But I've also got some great announcements before we jump into this month's content. First, all my new content is up on Patreon. You can get access to the unedited interview featuring this month's author and catch the parts of the conversation that were edited out for YouTube. But the newest Finding Fiction video essay, which focuses on the Jurassic Park franchise, will not be available until March, as February is a busy month for me. Of course, the video essay will also be available at the end of the month on March 31st on YouTube, but why wait? Second, my short story anthology, Midnight Playground, is going to be celebrating its first year of publication on February 17th, just 3 days away from now. In honor of that, the Kindle and ebook editions will be available for free starting on the 17th. So make sure to get yourself a copy without breaking the bank on new books. Third, while my big event, the Moonlit Revelry Ball, was last week, I want to let everybody know that it won't be the last event that I have coming up throughout the year. While the next one isn't for a few months, I will be announcing those in-person events as they roll out. In the meantime, I am going to be doing a giveaway at the end of this month. I'll be giving away a box set of all 5 books in the Archives of Isink Ram. The box is a one-of-a-kind, handmade collection, and if you're interested in signing up, you can do so through the link in the video description. With that said, I hope you enjoy the rest of this month's video. Last month, J. Bryce Odom returned to the show and provided his top 10 book recs with a list focused on the writings of the Inklings, the group of Oxford professors and writers which included J.R.R. Tolkien and C.S. Lewis. January's author awareness interviewee, Nicole Testa, offered to return and provide her reading recommendation.
Hey everyone, my name is Nicole and I'd like to share a review of a book I recently read. Now this book is called The Honeycrisp Orchard Inn. This book is absolutely adorable. It is your typical small town, Hallmark, cozy romance featuring a happily ever after, and it stars a woman named Ellie who gets fired from her job and dumped by her boyfriend on the same day. The book actually starts with the words, "You're fired." With no choice of and nowhere of knowing where her life is headed, what she's going to do, she has to return to her parents' inn in a cozy little part of Long Island, and the inn is called the Honeycrisp Orchard Inn. And from there, while she's trying to figure out her life, she has multiple encounters with the local farmer's son, and they somehow get put in charge of the town's annual harvest festival. So they're forced to work together when in the beginning they really don't like each other. So sparks fly, there is chemistry, there is some very cute moments and a lot of cozy, warm feelings, and there's a happily ever after at the end. And this book is your typical like fall, pumpkin spice. Like, I know we're moving into winter, but still this book will make you feel very, very warm and fuzzy inside, and it is a great book to read all year round. And I think this is going to end up being part of a series, so I'm looking forward to reading the next book. Definitely check this one out.
This month's interviewee has been on the show for Author Awareness a couple of years ago, and she was on the show last season providing a list of book recommendations. Now she's back to talk with me about her newest title release. Please join me in welcoming back spicy writer Thea Landen.
Hey, Thea! So, it's great to have you back on the show. Tell me what you've been working on since you were last here.
Thanks so much for having me. Well, some people tell me that I am releasing nonstop, which, to be honest, most of them are short stories, so it's maybe not as impressive as it sounds, but still got a lot of things out there. As of right this second, my current series is coming to an end. Last year in the spring, I launched my Signs of Seduction series, which is a set of 12 standalone short stories, each for a different sign of the zodiac, so using the stereotypical personality traits, the symbol of the sign, colors, things along those lines. So since I started in April with Aries, that means the whole thing is going to be done in March with Pisces. I'm almost at the finish line.
Well, that kind of tackles the second question I had about how long you've been publishing. You've been publishing for a while, and it's
a long time.
And I mean, you were a guest host last season, and before, I had you on the show at least a year or two before that. So, I mean, obviously, the short story series is being drawn from the 12 signs of the zodiac, as well as being romantically inclined stories. What are other sources of inspiration do you draw from?
This makes people so mad. In addition to, other forms of media, I consume video games mostly. I don't watch a lot of TV or movies these days. Honestly, sometimes they just come to me. That's how I fall asleep at night, planning my future projects. So for the Zodiac series, for a long time, I'd been saying, I need another series. I need another series. Because if we're getting into the advice section later on for listeners, you can't just write one book.
No.
You have to write more than one. And readers love series. And I went to quite a few conventions this year, and the last one I went to had a number of panels. Some I moderated, some I participated in, some I just watched from the audience, and readers love series. So I'm like, all right, fine. I need a series, I guess. And again, people get so mad at me. I was just lying in bed one night, waiting to fall asleep, and the whole thing came to me. The zodiac theme, what I would do for covers, what I would title it, how I would market it. Because then at the end of this, when the last one comes out in March with Pisces, what am I going to do? I'm going to take the 12 short stories and bundle them together in a physical book so I can then turn around and sell them at conventions. All of this, just like one flash at midnight one night. Perfect plan.
So aside from the finances, aside from doing layouts and stuff like that, what has been one of the biggest challenges that you've been facing at this stage in your writing career?
I'm lucky enough that I have a decent-sized regular audience, and God bless those people who will buy whatever I write the day it comes out. But of course, we always want the bigger numbers. And in doing research, hanging out on social media and the various Facebook groups and the accountability posts, all the places. For those people who are getting very, very big numbers with, dollar signs attached to them, they will be the first to tell you that when you really want to make that leap to scale up, you kind of almost have to do paid advertising. Like people will post pictures of their, KDP dashboard and say, look, I made literally $1 million this year. 500,000 of that was on advertising. And it's one of those things like the ISBNs that I was putting on for a while. I know I have to do it one day, but I don't know. I am sometimes hesitant about the concept of spend money to make money. And especially since a lot of people say whether you're going with Amazon ads or Facebook ads or BookBub ads, it kind of is hit or miss until you find what really works for an ad. And I kind of don't want to do that yet, but I know I probably should.
That brings us to the question about advice. What advice would you offer to other authors who are dealing with some of the same crap that we're dealing with?
Don't play anyone who sends you endless unsolicited messages. They are all garbage. No, seriously, though, if someone is good at what they do, whether it's marketing, cover design, formatting, if they're legitimately good at what they do, they don't have to reach out to people, cold calling them. Like, they have plenty of happy customers who will vouch for them and make those recommendations. And I'm always hesitant to post when I actually need someone, because I made the mistake on Twitter once saying, hey, who's good at doing, like, I think I wanted a sticker design or character art, and then everyone comes out of the woodwork. Make that network. Talk to your friends, know who is reliable, who has good rates, who is not going to screw you over. And again, if they are in your inbox uninvited, they cannot do anything for you that you either can't do on your own or have someone legitimate do for you.
That is pretty good advice, especially because that seems to be a problem that's been coming around more and more lately. I think with the advent of AI and how prominent it's being used, it's just become a bigger hassle, because like I'm getting people who are like, hey, I saw, I started looking into your book. I really liked it. They're wanting to get to know more about my book and chat me up. And then you start looking into their profile and you realize just how much of a scam, what they're trying to do. I don't know if they're trying to scam me out of information about the book, or scamming me out of information, personal information that they can use to steal my identity, but they're using that kind of thing. And I've encountered where you've got these accounts that are claiming to be well-respected, well-published authors, and they're not real. So Thea, we're coming up to the end of the interview. How can people get a hold of you? How can they get copies of your work?
All right, easiest way is thealanden.com. My website has all the information you could ever want and more. It's got the info about books. It's got the links. Do you want the ebook on Amazon? Do you want a signed copy from me? All the links are right there. Social media links are there. Merchandise links are there. I have some fun stickers, t-shirts, other great things. And if you scroll down to the bottom or go to the appropriate tag, on top there is the list of my upcoming appearances, both media appearances like this and also in-person events.
Awesome. Well, Thea, it has been a pleasure to have you back on the show. Thanks for joining me.
Yeah, thanks so much for having me. This is a lot of fun.
So last month, I shared some tips with you about incorporating elements of the Janus mythology into your own writing and storytelling. This month, we are tackling some of the folklore centered on this month's specifically today's holiday, which is Valentine's Day. The holiday that we know and loathe.
Ahem.
Love? It gets its origins from a couple of different sources. The first source comes from some ancient Roman fertility rites stemming from the Roman festival of Lupercalia. During Lupercalia, and I kind of mentioned something about this last month, Romans would go through and februa their homes and cities, meaning cleaning their homes and cities. It was an entire month of pre-spring cleaning. Beyond that, Lupercalia is a fertility festival that involved animal sacrifices of usually a goat or a dog in the Lupercal cave where Romulus and Remus were raised by the she-wolf who adopted them. Priests would run through the streets wearing nothing and smacking people with these cords made from goatskin leather to promote health, ward away evil, and encourage fertility. I'm pretty sure this led to a lot of drunken or organized groups of people cleaning their homes. Jeez, quit interrupting, man! Moving on. Eventually, the traditions of Lupercalia were replaced and suppressed in the 5th century AD by Pope Gelasius I. Sounds like a brand of Roman ice cream. Eventually, it received a different name stemming from one of 3 saints in the Catholic Church, all of them named Valentine. The most popular origin comes from the history of a Christian priest by that name who defied Emperor Claudius II and performed marriage ceremonies, getting him executed and martyred. However, another story claims Valentine wrote a final note from your Valentine to his jailer's daughter whom he helped. Regardless of the origin, it's historically clear the romantic aspect didn't really emerge until the Middle Ages with Geoffrey Chaucer.
Who?
Chaucer? Geoffrey Chaucer? The writer?
A what?
A what? A writer? You know, I write with ink and parchment.
Yes, that Chaucer. And the way good old Jeff linked St. Valentine's with courtly love through his poetry and other writings. Handwritten notes and cards, however, didn't become popularized until the 17th century, and mass-produced cards started popping up in the 19th century, fueled by the Industrial Revolution. You know, frankly speaking, I'm pretty sure Valentine's Day is a psyop put on by the Hallmark Channel and the candy companies to ensure their economic successes and justify the existence of pretty much every single Hallmark movie ever made. You know, I hear Hallmark is actually on the verge of coming up with a second plot for all of their movies. Anyway, you guys might be asking, hey, this is all great and all, Garrett, but how can we incorporate this superfluous holiday into our own writing? Well, aside from the obvious and setting the story during the 24 hours that make up February 14th, there are 3 tips for including this topic into your writing. Tip number 1. While it might seem like an obvious nod to the holiday, focus on including the thematic colors like red, pink, and white, along with other imagery that isn't hearts. Maybe the sky is tinted pink at sunrise or sunset, or maybe a character recognizes another character wearing a dusky rose scarf. When you pay attention to subtle symbols and meanings, you can incorporate them into your story without it feeling overt or offensive. Tip number 2. Focus on love metaphors in your character's routine moments. While love is often described as an emotional response, the truth is that love is actually an action verb. It's not something you feel, it's something that you do. This is where you can incorporate the famed 5 love languages: quality time, acts of service, words of affirmation, physical touch, and giving gifts. This is where you focus on the choices and actions of your characters, like sharing breakfast with one another even when one character has a busy schedule. They're making time for the other person. Or maybe one character is having a really rough go at life, and the person that loves them sits down and does something nice for them. In the 5th book of my fantasy series, The Mantle of the Fatherless, there is a scene where my female main character is dealing with some PTSD as well as some depression. Now, before this, the character and her boyfriend have a fun, intimate romp in bed during that morning, which leads to his belt getting thrown across the room and breaking a vase. To later alleviate the stress and emotional pain when it hits her, she uses a broken piece of that vase to cut into her arm. She's kind of a cutter. Now, because of the magic that is imbued within her, she's able to instantly heal without any scars or lasting marks, but the scars aren't always visible in cases like this. Her boyfriend sees her, and to show how much he cares, he takes the broken pottery from her, and he gets a wash basin and cleans the wounds and the blood so that there isn't a mess. Then he picks her up and tucks her into bed and lets her sleep. Finally, tip number 3, and this is where we get a little subversive. Explore how love and marriage to a degree is included within the culture of the characters in your story. Is marriage arranged? If so, how much time do the betrothed couple get to spend together before they're required to be married? Is romantic love encouraged or discouraged? What are the consequences of pursuing romantic love over an arranged relationship? If willingly pursuing marriage to a romantic partner, is it going to be religious or traditional? And what is allowed or required for them to get married in a secular or government and culturally normative ceremony? If you follow these points and ask yourself these questions during the world building process or a character's development, you'll be well on your way to including a Valentine's Day theme to your writing. Oh, crap. I forgot to get flowers for tomorrow. Or for today. Oh, no. Oh, no, bad. Hey, thanks for watching. Do you like this content? Please hit like, hit subscribe, and click the bell for notifications if you do. A big thank you goes out to my guests Nicole Testa and Thea Landen. If you'd like to connect with either of my guests, or if you'd like to support the channel through Patreon, my merch, or bookstores, or on Cash App, you can find all of those links down in the video description. Join me for my live stream on March 7th. as I'll be sharing another short story from my anthology, Midnight Playground, which celebrates its first year of publication this coming February 17th. I'll see you then, and in the meantime, keep on writing the right way.